Hey guys, it's Maggie and I am back today. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most difficult things that I've dealt with having Crohn's disease. And I think a lot of people assume that it's me getting ostomy surgery or me doing new medications that include me giving myself injections. And to be honest with you, it's none of those things. The hardest thing that I have dealt with having Crohn's disease is my relationship with food. And I've got a little bit of background that I'm going to give you of why I've had a really difficult time over the last 10, 15 years trying to eat well, eat things that I can tolerate, and more importantly, enjoy food. Working on this got me from 65-pound miserable little Maggie at the same height I'm today to 95-pound Maggie. So I will tell you the background and how I kind of reversed my thinking on food. So I get the question all the time, what foods do you avoid at all costs? Like, what can you not eat? And I will start to comment back to people on YouTube saying like, well, there's not really anything that I don't eat ever. And then I realize, okay, well, there are things that sometimes bug me, but other times I'm okay with. Sometimes there are recipes that I completely modify so I can still enjoy the taste without having the consequences of the food. And I realize that's a little difficult to explain in a YouTube comment. So that's why I'm making this video today, to hopefully inspire you. If you feel like you're stuck in your diet and you can't eat a whole lot, maybe this will help. But it all stems back from when I was a preteen into teenager years, right as I was being diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And I was tiny. I had dropped off of the growth chart, so I just wasn't growing anymore. And I had a GI doctor who knew I had Crohn's, she diagnosed me. But her focus was always my weight and my diet, and never really looked further into why I couldn't eat, which made me feel terrible. I'm sitting there knowingly having a GI disorder, but not having a doctor believe me that I cannot eat. Long story short, I have the type of Crohn's that strictures. I've had a lot of strictures in my intestines, and you guys that have followed me for a little bit now kind of know the story. My most severe stricture was in my rectum. Eventually, that most severe stricture was discovered. I wound up in the ER with vomiting of everything in my intestines, and my awesome pediatric surgeon discovered that there was indeed a stricture in there, and he dilated it. And suddenly I could go to the bathroom for the first time in months, and I could eat for the first time in months. But before that, and even after that, my GI doctor would use the mantra with me, eat more calories, eat more calories, eat more calories. And now it's a joke between me and my dad. Remember that time when my doctor used to say eat more calories when I couldn't? I could not physically eat more calories. It was really hard. My GI doctor would tell my dad that I thought I was overweight, when in reality, I wanted to gain weight so badly. She was telling me to put heavy cream on my cereal, which is absolutely disgusting and horrible, calorie powder in everything, eat as much ice cream and like heavy yogurt and all of that. And that made me feel terrible, and honestly would make most people feel pretty terrible. Even after that stricture was discovered and I was finally able to eat, the focus was still eat more calories, you need to eat ice cream, you need to count the calories that you're taking in, ignoring all of the other important things in the diet. The focus was just the calories, and I started to realize I'm maintaining my weight even when I don't eat those things. So in college, when I was now out on my own, cooking my own food, it gave me a lot more control over what I was eating. And I realized, I can eat way more than I thought I could. And of course, that is a whole discovery process too, because I do have Crohn's. There are foods that sometimes don't work with my diet. And I've had to learn, how to modify and change recipes in order for me to be able to eat them and enjoy them, most importantly. And to me, it really has become second nature because I know, I can tell when I don't feel quite right, and I can try to avoid certain foods or ingredients or just change the way I cook them so that I can tolerate them. But I realize for new patients, whether you've got Crohn's or maybe another GI illness, this might not be a second nature yet. So I want to talk a little bit about how I do modify things in my diet so I can enjoy them and tolerate them and have more variety, because I'll tell you what, a whole thing of ice cream in one sitting is pretty hard on the tummy. So I'm going to share some of the foods and recipes that Zach and I have done that I just kind of mix up a little bit, and maybe it'll give you some inspiration to try some new recipes of your own. Before we get into some of the recipes, I'm really excited to say that this video is sponsored by a company who makes a product that I absolutely love, but sometimes my Crohn's doesn't. It's coffee. It's coffee, yeah. As a nurse, me and coffee, besties. I love coffee. I have it every day. It's one of my favorite things, but unfortunately, it's acidic. And if you saw my Instagram post recently, you saw that I was not having a great day with my stomach, and some food had set that off. And I have to really be careful some days with what I'm eating and what I'm drinking. This is an example of a time when I have to modify what I am eating and what I'm drinking in order for it to work with me. And Golden Ratio has made a low acidity, smooth coffee. They do it by roasting the bean at a lower temperature. So it's got 5 times less the acidity of regular coffee, but with all the caffeine, because that's what I need. I'm used to adding creamer to mine because coffee, I don't know, it's bitter, and I personally don't like the taste of it black, so I will add in, the delicious creamer. So it was a little weird for me the first time I tried this, but I tried it without the creamer, and it's like drinking a tea, and you kind of make it the same way, but it's smooth and it warms you up the way a cup of coffee does. And I really enjoy the way that you make this coffee. You boil 8 ounces of water, you put the little sachet in there, let it steep for 5 to 10 minutes, and you're ready to go. You can also have it cold if you would prefer. But on the days where I am feeling my worst, I may not get up. I may be stuck to the couch, and that's the great thing, is that typically I'm the one that makes the coffee in the house because I don't trust Zach with making coffee. But with this, if I want a cup of coffee and I need him to make it for me, I know he is capable of boiling the water, putting it into a coffee cup, and bringing me this sachet, so I am good. Did you just take a sip of that?
It's quite good.
I'm filming it, Zach. He likes it. All right, I'm gonna take a sip of this before Zach steals it. Do you want your own?
No, I'm fine.
I've got an extra.
It is quite good. I'll enjoy one with you.
Do you want one?
I'll take one, yeah.
Okay. Making him his own. But I'm going to try it before Zach takes the rest of it. Yeah, I think the chai.
It's a hot day. The dogs wanted some ice too.
Zach gives the dogs ice while I'm trying to film. So helpful. Anyway, the chai spice gold coffee is my favorite out of all of them. But no, it really is an energy saver. It's less hassle than your typical coffee when you make it. I don't have to rinse out any coffee pots. I don't have to do anything like that. It's just, you got your coffee cup, you got your water, you got the sachet, you're good to go. And a bonus, of course, is that it fits in with many different diets, like if you're keto, if you're paleo, whatever. I'm pescatarian, works for me. So I am glad to say that this video is fueled today by Golden Ratio. And if you are interested in trying it out, you can get a 15% discount by clicking the link in the description. Thank you, Golden Ratio, for sponsoring this video. There are a few other ways that I will modify things in different recipes so that they work for me. So I'm hoping this helps you think about the different ingredients in your recipes and help you identify what you struggle with and what you might be able to replace it with, or maybe how you can cook it differently. I mean, you guys know I've had trouble with broccoli in the past. I've gotten obstructions from it, but I love broccoli. It's my favorite vegetable. I am attempting to grow it. It's not going well, but I love broccoli. So I will steam it really well, and I'll also cook it in an oil that works with me. I have a lot of trouble with olive oil, totally random, I know. So I'll cook it in maybe a little bit of butter or something different, so that way I'm able to tolerate them better. But the most important thing with that is steaming them really well. I won't eat it if it's crunchy anymore because I know how my body's gonna handle that. I know smoothies are a big thing right now and we've been really liking them. Probably about a month ago, I tried to make smoothies for us. I was so excited, spent hours making these stupid smoothies, and I put some avocado in it. I put some strawberries, some blueberries, a little bit of honey. But where I went wrong, guys, was I was yet again in that mindset of need more calories. So I included whole milk and I included this really tasty vanilla yogurt, but it's a whole milk yogurt. And I went to try my own smoothie and I got so sick. I got so nauseated. Couldn't drink any more of it. And of course, I had kind of meal prepped and I had all these jars ready to go. So Zach and I could enjoy them for a few days. And I couldn't drink any of them. So instead of using that whole milk and the heavy yogurt, I switched to a vanilla almond milk. So that way it was a lot lighter on the tummy and I was able to drink them and enjoy them. Because really my focus now with food is I need to enjoy it. And when you start enjoying it, you start to want all different flavors because you're able to handle them. And that's how I found my diet kind of just, diversified on its own. One of our other favorite dishes is also one that typically I would not be able to eat. And it's already a modified recipe. It's supposed to be based on a buffalo chicken dip recipe. I'm pescatarian, so we switched to a buffalo bean dip. The problem is the buffalo and the beans, which is basically the whole thing. So how am I going to eat this, right? Like I said, I had trouble with the beans. I cannot digest them. I'm sorry, I know, gross. So when I looked at the recipe, it has you blend up 1 can of the white beans, but you're supposed to leave the other can whole, so it's kind of a textured thing, which is great, but not great for me. So instead, I just modified this recipe and I blended the whole thing up. It's a little bit smoother than it typically would be, tastes identical, and it works. It works with my stoma, it works with my stomach. But then we get to the buffalo, and they want you to put a lot of buffalo sauce in there. No. Personally, I can handle a little bit of hot sauce. I'm totally fine with it. I cannot handle a lot, so I will put just a small amount in there and I will do different batches. Actually, I do that with a lot of different recipes. If it has a lot of spices in it, I will make 2 separate batches because Zach really likes the hot stuff and I can't handle it. So we'll make 2 separate bowls of it. One will be the hot version and one will be the mild version for me. And it is so good. I eat it with celery sticks. Fortunately, I can handle celery sticks really well. I know some people can't. And if you can't do that, you could do a little bit of like naan bread. We cut up some naan bread and that's really good. You can basically dip whatever you think tastes good into this stuff. And it's got a good amount of protein. I mean, I love it. So these are some of the ways that I will change up a recipe or switch out ingredients so that my Crohn stays happy. It stays, hopefully non-existent. And I can enjoy different types of foods because I can tell you I have been stuck with eating bland, plain, boring food. And this helps me kind of get out of that. So that's not to say I still don't have bad days, because sometimes I will eat something that I don't realize is going to make me sick. But I use that moment to learn. I figure out, okay, what was the ingredient that did this to me? The other night when I was on Instagram sick, I think it was chili powder. They had added, it was either chili powder or chili flakes they added onto my Brussels sprouts. Normally I'm fine with Brussels sprouts. They cooked them really good, so they were nice and soft. But they added something that was really hot onto it, and I ate one. And I did not feel good. So we learn from our mistakes, and we know not to order that again, or if I do order it again, hold the chili flakes. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video and found some inspiration on how to change your diet up a little bit if you're really struggling to tolerate different foods. And I hope that it gets you to a point where you can have a healthy relationship with food. It was a long road for me, I'll tell you, but it's been worth it, and I have so much more enjoyed food. I don't fear going out to restaurants anymore. I don't fear eating in front of people and having them judge me for not eating or judging me for what I order. It has helped a lot. So yes, hopefully you found some inspiration in this video, and thank you so much for Golden Ratio sponsoring this video. Hopefully you guys will give it a try, and I'll see you in the next. Bye guys!